Hey everyone, welcome to another video on geometry nodes. In this video, we will see about the viewer node. This is very important node and it helps you in a lot of places when you work on complicated models and with a lot of geometry nodes in the picture. I release new videos on a weekly basis. Please subscribe my channel so that you will be notified when I upload a new one. This is Jay from CJ Academy. Let's begin. Okay, I have the default cube setup and I have the custom workspace setup for me. I have covered about this custom workspace creation and loaded by default in a separate video. I'll put the link in the description, you can check it. Let's go for the creation. We'll see about the viewer node. What exactly is the viewer node? To understand the viewer node, we'll create a grid. Both are not needed for now. So grid node is nothing but the plane in XY axis. Option to connect to viewer node is right click. You have an option to link to viewer. So what this does is, you can see here, I'll show the difference. We'll bring the group output as well. So a viewer node has option to see a set of elements of a geometry, or you can put it to auto, so it will show you, depends on what you prefer. And what is the difference between the group output and viewer node? The difference is there is a I symbol to quickly switch off or switch on the viewer node. So if you see, if I switch on, there is a difference. It shows as viewer here. It's first difference. And also here, if you see, this changes to evaluated. Evaluated is nothing but the final output, group output. And if I enable the viewer node, this changes to viewer node. The data shown is of the viewer node. And here also the 3D viewport updates to as viewer node. What is this means? Um, you can connect any node in the node group or in the node structure to viewer node and to see different data. Let's expand this node a bit further. Let's bring in index node. So I have covered about this geometry node structure in a separate video. I'll put the link in the description, you can see it. This helps you to understand the nodes in a better way. So I have added index node. Okay, so what this means, it's a geometry read node. So that's the classification, which means it will have the value of index of the geometry, any geometry which is in the picture already, in this case the grid node, and it will have the index information of this grid. Okay, if I, as soon as I plug it in here, there's a value node. You see this whole thing is lighten up, and this is a, I think, bug. I don't know why the zeroth index gets a little bit black. We have no idea, so we'll see. But if you see, the whole thing is lighten up, this means the grid node is viewed and all the indexes are selected. That is the meaning of the whole thing going white. Let's bring in compare node. So this is a utility math node. The mean it will make calculations. So now if you see, zeroth index is completely black. Any value greater than 0 is selected. That is the meaning. So white means selected, black means unselected. We know index is a integer node. So I have covered about this index node also in a separate video. I'll put it in the description. So when you connect as integer, okay, and let's say equal, what this means, so 0 is selected, that's why the 0th index is visible. So I'll bring the wireframes to see. Total you have 9 vertices, so there will be 9 index for this, 0 to 8. Okay, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So after 9 or after 8 there is nothing, because 0 to 8 is the value. So you can see here also. Index is nothing but the first column in the spreadsheet editor. And we are currently in the viewer node. As soon as I switch it off, it's gone. But you have anyway the same out in the group output node. But the specialty of your node is you can visualize things. It's not only for the one node, you can do it for any node. So for that reason, let's bring in subdivide mesh. So this is a mesh operation. Okay, I'll only put it to the viewer node, not to the group output. As soon as I switch off the viewer node, only the output is connected. So this is a cool way to test things when you build complex models, and gradually you can understand everything better. Now we have a mesh and subdivided. After 9 there are also values, and you can see it's increased to 25. That's 0 to 24. Okay. What I mean by index? So to understand this better, I'll bring in attribute text. Okay. Also, I'll remove the color opacity for now. We are already into the selection mode, so you see only value 1 where whichever is selected. Okay, if I go for instead of equal, less than equal, then you can see more places are marked as 1. Okay, same as if I go further, it will be inverted. Let's say we don't want this, so control X is dissolve. Now you can see the numbers are mixed. Control dissolve this also. 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So it's ordered in that way. Let's say we'll increase this to 5 and bring in more subdivision from the beginning, say 8. So it means there's more classification here and it's in the same numbering order. Now I'll bring in the subdivide mesh again. Now if you see, the further subdivisions are placed in between the already created vertices. So new points are created and the index of it is not on the same order but inserted in between the existing vertices. So that's one way to understand how the subdivision works. And let's bring in the compare node again. Okay, compare, and you know it's integer, the index value is integer. Connect again, and you see here, so already anything that is greater than 0 is selected. All of them are 1 except this. So now I'll bring in the visualization again. So with the text, you can see what's happening here is wherever it is white, that is selected, wherever it is black, that is unselected. So you can see wherever it is uh, white, it will be 1, wherever it is black, it will be 0. That means right now anything greater than 169 is selected, remaining ones are unselected. If I go for less than or equal, it's inverted. So this is how you can visualize a selection in the viewer node. This is only available for viewer node. If you go for group output, the text or the coloring effect is not available. It's only for the viewer node. Now let's expand this further. I'll bring in famous instance on points node. This is very helpful to understand a lot of things. Same grid input with the subdivided is the point or the instance. I'll bring in the cone. Okay. Now if you see, group output is connected here. Viewer node is connected here. The instance on points node is not connected yet, so it's okay that you can tweak the properties of the cone before you connect it. Now I want this to connect with viewer node. You can just right click and connect. That's it. If each vertices is calculated for the index. So index is nothing but the vertices. Okay. So the vertices are further calculated on the cone also. So this is not useful anymore. I'll hide the attribute text and let's go to the normal view. You can see selection is made. We know that this with this subdivide mesh, when we connect it to viewer node, we know only part of it is selected, not all of it. The instance is in all the places. This is because we have not controlled the selection yet. Now if we want to see the same selection as we have done before, so we need this selection also to be connected on the same value. Now you can see it. But we also want to see it on the grid. For that, we need the join node. This is the instance output. This is the flat output. So let's bring in the join geometry node. So join geometry is a specific operation or a special operation in geometry. It doesn't come under any category. So let's bring it here. Connect this. Also connect this. Okay. Got it. Now connect this to the viewer node. Now you see. So the grid has a selection and we are making that selection possible, and it is now visible what is selected, what is not selected. And if I disable or temporarily hide the viewer node, all you get is the group output, and you see the evaluated is changed, the values are changed. And as soon as I enable this, the whole setup and the calculation done on the viewer node is visible. Now what happened here, we have 225 vertices and anything that is less than or equal 13 is selected. That is the part here. Now if I just jump to greater than or equal, you see the inverted selection is possible and all the other places are selected. Let's go back to less than or equal. And what happens when I put equal? Only the 13th and 13th index which is equal to 13 is calculated or considered. Okay, and this should be the selection, and also on the viewer node with on the plane 13th index is showed. So that's why it's like this. So it's a cool way to understand which index is it right currently on. And as soon as you change this, yeah, factor, you know the selection is different. And if I go for greater than equal, that's the inverted selection of it. Okay, so this is the power of viewer node. So if you see, we started with a grid node and then subdivided, and we viewed it in a very different way. And let's say now this is the desired output you want, and then you can just connect this to the group output, and as soon as you hide it, you get the selection. So viewer node is a very powerful one, especially when you want to understand a specific node or until that position what is calculated. You can simply use the viewer node and it will be helpful. You don't want the value to be connected in case, so you just disconnect this. Let's keep this as it is. And instead of that, you want to see what's the cone looks like. So you connect to the link to the viewer node and you get the cone as output. Now if I hide this, you still have the desired output or the final output we finalized. Even then, you have the freedom to view anything in the geometry node structure you have created. So let's connect it back, and not this output but this output. Okay, this is the power of viewer node. You can do this for any kind of geometry you create, any complex geometry you have. It will be very good way to understand it. So let's say socket inspection is the text overview. Viewer node is the visible overview. Let's say illustrated overview. This is a text based, this is illustration based. So the grid node has so many vertices, so many edges, so many faces, and as soon as you connect it to viewer node, you can view that. And let's say I want to connect this now. You got it back. And if you want to just see in between the subdivision, you can see it. There's no problem with it. That's it about the viewer node. If you find this video useful, please like it, share it with your friends. If you want me to cover any specific topic in Blender, please let me know in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in another cool video. Thank you. Bye.